Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures Case 5, and indeed the first part of the collection of games, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Let's go. When I awoke the following morning, Sato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. Did you sleep in those sheets? And so began an evening longer than the last. An even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. So we're talking about this in the past tense, interestingly enough. 17th of April, 9:32 a.m., the Old Bailey defendants and the chamber. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So where's your friend then? Sorry? You know, her in the fancy dress. She told you she's leaving for Japan. Sato, or however you say it. I don't know. Ah, Mrs. Sato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You alright with that, are you? Forget about me if you like, go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Mrs. Sato and I won't meet again one day. Even so. But you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two. Hello, Iris. How are you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep? Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Ah, Wagahai. Yeah, right. The name escaped me a bit, but there we are. Ah, Waggy. Great way to show your support, kitty. Let him have a nose around. What harm can it do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. London something news. Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder. Oh, sorry, plunder. Yeah, okay. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Runo? Ginny? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. That's an outlook. I haven't thought of it that way. I don't know. She might be onto something, I'm not sure. Yes, that always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. The bad news was a weather report? So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon, so even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? I couldn't give a monkeys, really. If only all good news cancelled out the bad. And look, this trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder, see? How do you like that? Well, let them say what they want, see if I care. I can't because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Runo will show everyone that this headline is nonsense. Yes, I will. And then, in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be... Discharged diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Runo? Yes, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How is that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. So question, is Iris gonna be my quote-unquote assistant since Susato is gone, or what? Morning's paper, purchased by Iris. Gina's case features prominently. Okie dokie. I wanna read that when I get a chance to. Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can. Actually, I'll read it right now. Yeah, it looks like she's probably gonna, yeah. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. How awful, for Ginny, I mean. But tomorrow's headline will be Discharge Diver is Dauntless Do-Gooder, right? Yes, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go in bigger. Bigger? How? Proud Pickpocket protects planet post-trial, perhaps? Protects planet? Ooh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great. I can't, you know, optimism wins today, I hope. London news. It's like a picture of a, you know, a city. Alright. What's this then? There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well, look. Ministry Mole? Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Oh, that's probably the big thing with the Strongheart and the Gregson and the Doobly-Doos. For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they're being intercepted by hostile nations. 1890s hostile nations that's a long list, I think. Like before the World Wars, you know? Communications are being intercepted, but how would somebody be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Runo? No, of course not. Well, I mean, it's never a bad idea to learn about, like, communications, just saying. I wonder, perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Gregsy running from pillar to post at the moment. Government secrets being leaked to foreign agencies. So that's the deal with that. Alright, alright. Cool. So... Case summary. This is from the omnibus murder, the case 3. We got the notes from Susato. Case summary. Victim found deceased on the last scheduled omnibus of the day after a stab wound to the abdomen. Details of victim name Mason Milverton. So Mason is the first name then. So thrice heated Mason is alright. Milverton. Doesn't ring any bells, but alright. Brickmaker, East End of London. Trial summary. Defendant McGilded, prosecution Lord Van Zeeks. Defense attorney Ruinosuke Naruhodo. Conviction was assured with 3 eyewitness testimonies. However, a surprise 4th witness testimony resulted in acquittal due to insufficient evidence. Interestingly enough, I think Strongheart said from the beginning that it would be impossible for us to lose. So did he know something about the thing? Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but... Thank you, Iris, that's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well, I was wondering is all about Sholmes. Did they fix him up alright? Yes, the operation was a great success. But Hurley still hasn't come around yet. Huh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news, but we know from Susato that Sholmes is already up, so what's up? Oh, right. So is Sholmes like pretending to be asleep? Why? Is he tied? Huh. How's that gonna turn up? No, we'll see. Maybe he's the mastermind all along, as I've been predicting. No Sato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. No Mr. Sholmes in the trial is actually a plus, I think. He's gonna just point the finger at an innocent person. Like Mr. Sholmes is very likely just like point the finger at Gina as the murderer. Like that's what he's like. Just saying. It's all down to me today. Also, Sholmes has never been in a court anyway, so at least like in my trial. So why would that matter? It's all down to me today to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense, the trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom. It's time then. Yes, let's go, Gina, Iris. Lead the way, Runo. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. "17th of April, 10 AM. Sharp. The Old Bailey courtroom." So is it gonna be Van Zeeks again, I wonder? Yes. Alright. So only against me. I wonder why. Yeah, see, this boy is Santa Claus, yes? We can all agree on this point. That is obviously Santa Claus. That's his off-Christmas job, it seems. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are two types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. He means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, is he gonna say me? Those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. Yeah? Whoa. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. He hates come on! Really? Is it really that shallow? It's surely not. Sadur, hi, welcome. Hope you had an excellent waking up from an hour ago. Larkin got some stuff to do. Alrighty. Well, I hope the lurk goes good. And much appreciated as well. What? Did you really just say that? He means you now, Runo. I actually managed to work that out too, thank you, Aris. Total betrayal, what are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zeek's eyes. Was that directed solely as me, or was he talking about all Japanese people? And alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zeek's. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. He kinda is, because that is a, like... Man... That is such a sad reason if that's the truth. Like, come on, I expect something of you, Zeeks. Come on. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent... Like, I can't believe it's that dumb. Like, there's usually a prosecutorial arc. The one exception probably being Francisca von Karma, who is remains kind of one note all the time, but still. The 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Oh, I doubt that. It's gonna be all former witnesses and current witnesses and suspects to the case. It's gonna be all that, right? So, let me get this straight. Okay, where do I begin? Okay, number one. Okay, so first thing is that no less than 4 of these randomly chosen jurors from all of London are already people who have been jurors before. One of them barely, like he was sitting in for his wife at the very end there, but still, that's still 4 of those are from the last game. One of them is wearing the doctor's uniform, but it's still the same old guy. This one I don't think we've seen him before. But yeah. And the one on the far right that's the I forget the name, but he was in the newspaper of the second case. The escaped rebellion boy from some sort of like one of the Stan countries, probably. I don't remember, but still. What? Right. Although I do have a feeling, just saying, I have a hunch that the government secrets bit is gonna tie into him, though, probably. But you know, we'll see, right? Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt and innocence of the defendant? Secondly, I'm not sure. I'd need to double check, but was single-use like these like surgical gloves, were they a thing in the 1890s already? I don't know. Former lieutenant in the British Army here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely. Everything, and I'm ready for it. Okie doke. I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible, but could I have? Women in indispensable in society, stop. Female-centric future, wait, stop. Sure. Why are you doing telegrams instead of typing like last time? And to whom are you sending it to? Good day, I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Aha. Is something wrong, Runo? Oh, not exactly, it's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Really, funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? Yeah, quite a lot in this one. But it's quite strange, the jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know. Nope. I think that means that London has about 12 inhabitants total. That's what I'm gathering here. So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped. Yeah. Very well, now Lord Van Zeeks, tell us about Christmas. The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case, like how Santa is real. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I just so hard hope that his comment about the Nipponese is just a ruse to keep like suspicions away from his real intentions, which are like to catch the dude in the fur hat. Like, I forget the name. The Rebellion Boy. I so hard can't remember a name. It's been weeks or something since I played that case. Like, In short, Christmas is in danger. There has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. I still think that's a really weird bullet hole placing for heart. I don't know. As the like, I don't think the heart is that much to the left. Like, it's a kind of a no, like, it's a little more to the center, really. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet, and not quite as, I don't know, into the below of the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. I don't... Like, my fat cartoon character anatomy biology lessons are a little rusty, but I just don't think that pierces the heart. Maybe that's just me. Like, it's not super far, but I just... I feel it wouldn't, but I don't know. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. Yeah? And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. But if... hold on. Well, I'll probably get those in a bit there, but... Someone... like the accused, you might say. Oh. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Okay, autopsy report and the crime scene photo. Cool. So upward trajectory, right? So that looks like the exit wound, I think. from an upward trajectory, so I don't know. It's kind of hard to be sure, but it doesn't look like it's from like center and then upward. More like even more to the side and upward. I don't like the heart. Right. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. Right. In the sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. Yes. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. So, all we need to do is prove that there was a secret ghost that murdered him and it's gonna be all good, yeah? The ghost of Christmas past! Santa, back me up on this! It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, it was shown that they really wanted Christmas to be real, yes? She had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Are you sure that the gun was the same one? Did you do ballistics? Do you do ballistics at this point in history? Like, do we know actually that it was the same gun? Because I have my doubts on this one. Filthy drabs that lives in the East End. A matter of time before the blood on her hands.
Objection!
Objection! We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious. After the testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pick-purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence, and we will try to look at it just before we decorate the Christmas tree. Yes. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zeeks. At once, my lord. A plan of Windybank's pawnbrokery. The scene of the crime is shows the relative position of the main shop and the rear storeroom. A gun belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, that Gina was holding when she was found unconscious. There are signs of a single discharge. You're right. But again, does that mean that it was actually shot with that gun? I have some serious doubts about this, and I would like to be actually sure before we jump to any more conclusions about this. This isn't good. I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Bruno. Oh, that's normal. That's just Ace Attorney for you. I think that's because it has. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybank on 16th of April of this year. Witnesses, state your names and occupations of the court. Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is a baddie. Professional baddie. Ringo Skulkin. Nash and Ringo. Okay. Occupations, same as him. Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right. We're what they call... the Three Skulkin Brothers. What are you looking at me like that for? Don't lump me in with you lot. God blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through? It's our older brother, lost contact with him we have, so we're scouring every shady corner of the capital. And then last night we come across you, the very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo? He is, Nash, he is. The very spit of him. So we decided there and then what we was gonna do, we was gonna call you Big Bruv Sulky. Uh-huh. Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky Skulkin, and that's before he's run out of chips. Right. Well done, Inspector Sulky Gregson. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The Skulking brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Thieves, are they, these three? No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these 3 brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle, and even gurgle. And in the course of their most nefarious activities, they decided to be in cahoots. They became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. By Jove, you mean to say what an extraordinary coincidence. Indeed, my lord, while attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. So what I'm Man, I really hope that he has an arc other than just Nipponese, because, Order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector, skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. That's a weird way to address them, okay. You will not testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Happy to. Cause a skulkin's never skulkin. What? Get out of it. Illegal entry. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours and the gaff's door was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was. But once we got inside, cor blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. I so hard don't agree with like subtitling accents this heavily. It's exhausting to read. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet. Uh-huh. A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course, counsel, if you please. Counsel? Ah, yes. What's the matter, Runo? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told up by that pair in the stand. I know that's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose the testimony for the pack of lies it is. Right, so perjury, let's go. Hold it! About the ajar door. The front door of Windybanks was ajar, you say? What time of night was this? Must have been about 1, right, Ringo? Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Soki? How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Soki, me old mucker? Leave me alone. There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim.
Objection!
Objection! That is pure conjecture. Ha, perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened. It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was.
Hold it!
Hold it! What are you trying to suggest, that you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo? They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whims of thieves, does it? It weren't no whim, I'm dead sure of that. It weren't, Nash, it weren't, like we said at the time. You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it. It was that sign that our long-lost brother was inside. They're not very good liars, are they? Well, you can't deny it. It led us to a bloke who looks just like our bruv. I said cut it out. Those chips are getting chomping today. The ones that got inside are core blimey, Lummy. We heard a gunshot from the back room.
Hold it!
Hold it! A gunshot, you say? Just the one. Are you sure about that? Yep, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that. It wasn't as it was. Ain't that right, bruv? The firearm used belongs to the victim himself. Yes, Mr. Windybank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter. Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds. That makes sense. Mr. Windybank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true, I remember him saying that as well. So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon. Assuming we have the murder weapon, probably yes. Even that, though, is kind of a... I wouldn't jump to that far of a conclusion, but we do know, probably, that there was at least 2 shots fired, because there was one in the whatchamacallit, in the calendar, so... Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Do we know it's that gun, though? Is that really absolutely the murder weapon or not? Like, how do you know? Like, more than just the same caliber, that doesn't count. Wonderful. We went to see what, but the door was locked from the inside.
Hold it!
Hold it! Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that of the storeroom. Of course, there was only a little oil lamp burning, not much to see by. And the door was hidden behind a curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Huh? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think. Oh, well, you turned a rabbit, Ringo. Well, Nash, yeah. I suppose you'd have to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the former. Alright, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night. Thank you, counsels. So I believe we all understand that the door was locked and that could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing, just left after that nice and quiet.
Hold it!
Hold it! You didn't do or take anything, is that your story? Well, it was Bedlam soon it was, weren't it? It wasn't as it was, didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me lucky lockets. Lucy lockets? So, with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say? That's right, Governor, nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers. We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out, me Lucy lockets. That's nice. So you'd clearly like us to believe... come again? As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person? Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say? Ah! Blimey, Governor. You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway. It was. Why the bleeding Nora? Didn't you mention that before? You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes. I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been to the hospital. The great Sholmes, that's beyond the pale. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. Hehe. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed, remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. Indeed-o. The plot thickens, sort of, maybe. Kinda hard to be sure. But so far so good, yes? The court will hold this weapon as evidence. A firearm found in the possession of the Skulkin brothers upon their arrest. There are signs that a single round was fired. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are telltale signs of spent powder on this gun and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. Actually, I'd like to give it a good look. So, there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of this recovered revolver's 6 cylinders. Yes, which tells us that only a single shot has been fired from it. Exactly. The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it? Yes, it happened almost as soon as we walked in through Windybank's door. I'll make those brothers pay. Can we look down the barrel of the gun and find a secret game over? No? I don't see anything else worth, I can't find anything out of place. Oh, right, sorry. This is Mr. Windybank's gun. The cylinder is completely empty. Mr. Windybank always used to keep this gun to hand on his shop counter. Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand. That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in his care safe. But his one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe. Yeah, nothing else is springing to mind on this one. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial.
Objection!
Objection! Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there.
Objection!
Objection! However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windybanks that night. The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. How come you haven't got, are not aware that Sherlock was shot, for one? Or Herlock? Secondly, you did see the bullet in the wall. The police investigated the area, yes? One of the coppers were literally looking at that spot the entire time. And talking about it. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker's shop last night? Okay, safety save time, because I have, in this game, for example, in the last case, I had one spot where I presented the exactly correct piece of evidence, and the game said it was wrong. And then instead, the slightly less correct one was the right one, to reach the exact same conclusion. So the game it has some issues with that. So yeah, let's just So what? Blood samples portfolio? That one.
Take that!
Take that. The evidence is in this portfolio. What on earth have you there, Counsel? During the course of our investigation, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do? How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence of the court is demanding therein? Yes, my lord. No more dallying then, Counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? This one right here.
Take that!
Take that! What is that? Explain. It's a photographic print taken at Windybank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? is that it's a bullet that apparently your trained police didn't realize to like take as evidence, even though it's obviously bullet and it's obviously evidence. You idiots! What the hell? What's wrong with you? Why do you suck though so bad? Like, do we need to send you to like learn the secrets of Christmas and then come back maybe? Like, what the hell? A bullet hole, and if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged in there. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windybank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right, and while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night. Order, how does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zieks? With 2 feet, I believe, although they are weird feet that keep on being on a desk for some reason. Do you want to throw the thing into the fire, or what? If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? There you go. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally, and like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Take it easy there, Governor, you're gonna land us in the soup. We had a deal, you weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Sulky, set the bloke straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew. Well, I mean, he has been slightly maybe less competent than Edgeworth and Franziska and the other Von Karma and so on. But still, like, the obvious bullet in the obvious spot in the obvious crime scene is something even, even the simplest of the police would have, like, noticed. Like, and I believe they literally did. We saw them notice it, so surely he knew. Van Zieks knew that the testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned deputy's friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zieks? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. That's fair. I kind of felt that that's going to be the direction of that question, but still. We still proved that they were unreliable witnesses, though. That's something. Well, it's a moral something for us. Like, they still believe unreliable witnesses all the time, provided that they are going to point the finger at the innocent party, so. Have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all. So that's it. That's it, we didn't have nothing to do with it. We didn't, Nash, we didn't, that's what I reckon. Cool. Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget attempted murder. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas? Ah. We're in for it now, bro. Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Sorry, Sherlock Sholmes. And, I mean, great detective. He's right on the... He's correct on the, yeah. Quotation marks. It would seem that the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery. Eccentric says who? Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like... I wonder that they're gonna come up like this one in the victim's shop. Oh, that's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer to the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. That's a bit of a friar tuck, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a skulkin. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin? Must have been just after 1, right, bruv? Must have been, Nash, must have been. Yeah, just gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, what scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Good lord. Right. I think we can go forward with the setback. It'll be fine. It's the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured in hand, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quite, one can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel. That's gonna be interesting. Ugh. I don't believe it, Ginny. In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windybank. I honestly don't like that you always go on about it's the only person who could have dooby-dooby-doo, since it's never really the case. Like, there's always a different thing, and you see that in every case, and you're always wrong. So just, like, you know, take a deep breath, and let's take a look at this, yeah? Also, Runosuke is way too dramatic about this. I say, my lord. Hello? I wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a bally bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maywand, 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. Well, at least 2 of them women, so, you know. And we'll all go down together, you mark my words. One for all and all for one. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we're to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes. That is the Garideb Squadron's position, sir. It's too soon to make a judgment here. Status report for the court, men, on the double. His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions too. I think you'll find the truth is as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it. I wouldn't have left it in there, I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember. Situation clear, stop, no room for doubt, stop, truth now undeniable, stop. I am very sorry for brothers, they are unlucky. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Oh boy. This just, like, the drama of this is a little lowered by the fact that, like, we still get to, like, cross-examine them all. Well, not like, we get to, like, try to turn their leanings all over again. So I feel it's a little, like, the drama of them reaching the guilty verdict is a little lowered because, like, it's still... It doesn't mean much. It just like, changes the mechanics of the game a little bit for a bit. Like, it's a little less dramatic than I'd like it to be. You know, like, in a weird way, like, adding the jury system, like, takes away some of the weight and drama of the Ace Attorney, you know, court proceedings, because when all lived and died of, like, upon the gavel, and, you know, guilty, and there we are, it's sort of... It's had... Through its simplicity, it's had a little bit more gravitas into drama. Here, like, all of them going guilty means essentially nothing, because it just means that, okay, we need to, like, just talk to the jury for a minute, and then we'll just continue. Like, it doesn't feel dramatic at all, in a way that the judge's gavel used to be, you know, in the mainline games. Announce your considered verdict to the court.
Guilty.
It's a fun mechanic, mind you, but it, like, doesn't mean anything.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
So and with the forehead from one of them, it does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already. Right, but again, like, let me just, like, emphasize, pitting the jurors' statements against each other is a fun mechanic. Make no mistake. Like, it's a fun little different kind of a thing to do in the trial puzzles. That's good. I like that, but it just, the way this guilty leaning stuff then goes, it just doesn't feel weighty in any way. Because all it means is that you get to do a different sort of a logic puzzle for a bit. And then go back to witness, you know, statement, you know, stuff. And we no longer have the judge's gavel to be the actual guilty doobie-doo, right? Or not in that way, at least. So that drama has gone away to add a fun, like, a puzzle mechanic, but it just there's something lost in that because the drama is gone, you know? That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned. But Jeannie didn't shoot him. No, of course not. Also, yeah. I'm wondering why she's holding the gun, but we'll see, right? My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well, the court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. That's what we are. We don't admit defeat. We go until the end credits. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Let's see how it all turns out, shall we? It's hopefully gonna be real nice. Alright. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready? Abso-bolly-lutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions.
Objection!
Whoa! Ramiza, thank you for the follow, much appreciated. And I hope you've had an excellent day, and welcome. All the evidence clearly points to the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketian. Does it now? Give me a second. As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated. Right. I think you'll find that if you look at that photograph in the stereo, the truth will just pop out. Aha. If I have left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now. Mind made up to stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow stop. In Motherland we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent. Sounds interesting. The circumstances of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. And in the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was already heard by these witnesses, who I believe were already perjuring themselves, so they are unreliable witnesses, so maybe, like, that doesn't mean anything, my dude, but then again, it's Ace Attorney, so... Not to mention this print. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield, that young girl's on the verge of pulling the bully trigger. Well, it does look kinda bad. I wonder how that's gonna go. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Yep. Oh dear, Hurley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. Oh, it's every day's an uphill struggle, my dude. It's just like you on Christmas. Let's go. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. We hope so, at least. Which means there's more to the situation than we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, Counsel. Proceed with the Summation Examination. So where do I begin with this?
Hold it!
Can we look at it in stereo? Actually, we have two of the like contraptions. Yes. What do you mean? Look at the photograph in stereo. Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally, it looks as though the pickpocketed girl is about to shoot the victim, obviously. Objection! But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Ooh, how did you know? Let's call it a lucky guess. It never gets old seeing the two prints merge into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary, it's captivating, it's the height of modernity. I'm sure. That sounds great. Of course. Oh yes, I think you'll find that the stereoscope is here to stay. Giving us new perspectives we could only dream of before, it's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. You know... If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. I mean, the thing is, it could, right? How do I get the other... We don't have the other bit. That is annoying, huh? Hold it! Please tell me you're not villain Bolshevik. Oh, that's the one, the Russian revolutionary. Revolutionary? Duh, I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor? As you see, I have an unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal. Your words, not mine. Just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat. And which glove fits? Good day, I'm visiting London for sightseeing and would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Right, that didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts. To be treated like vicious criminal all the time is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look. No, it's because they shot a person. The Skulking Brothers? Duh. Maybe they went inside pawnbroker's shop, but they have done nothing wrong. That is all what I want to say. The Skulking Brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well, first of all, that's one natural little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something, Iris. What is it, Bruno? The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they? Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary? I wish I knew. If I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over. So hold on, if you can change the minds of 3 of them, what happens then is my question. Like, why do you need to change the minds of 4? Like, wouldn't the 3-3 tie also be like a, you know, continue on and see what happens? But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone. Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. I must be ready to go to whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. I don't know. Like, I like the stereoscopic angle, but we need the other photo, and how do I get that?
Hold it!
Hold it! You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garadeb, aren't you? You really must stop beating like this. Ah, you're that lawyer chap. Well, there's a turn-up for the books. Yes, a rather turbulent time we had back then. Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. Valkyrie, hi, welcome, how's it going? It's a mixed bag, you know, but we are continuing the video game, so that's something, right? So I hope you're doing well. I think we rather did a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything. Can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Garadeb house was the talk of the town after that business. Lodgers moved out and I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies. Oh. Haven't had the heart to break the news to Joni yet, bad enough that the old girl's clapped up. Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot. Not for us, that's for Dash certain. I suppose not. Of course, there can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously. You said clapped up, meaning that she was then, like, put in prison, yes? Which is good, because she's a criminal, so that's nice, right? Obviously, but honestly, I really wish he'd pay more attention to the trial and less to juror number 2. Huh. I didn't really pick up on that one, but okay. As a housemaid, I should like to see filthy... Fine. Hold it! Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A maid's work is never done, not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpurses and crossmen, the scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Sherlock Holmes? That's right, I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rand's magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid for the capital. Mr. Sholmes, a maid? It's really quite unforgivable. Gutters come having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Minor detail, it was the two brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed, they're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Yes, alright, I shall amend my statement. Those brothers are the scum of the earth, they should be swinged for shooting the great detective. That's fine, how do I approach this, Again, this really bugs me because I'd love to look at it in stereo. I have no idea what to do here, but hold it. What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere or something like that. Ah, so sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon. A surgeon? That totally passed me by. Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors, oh no. Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field. So, what is it that you think you've left behind? Ah, well, that's a little embarrassing to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday, standard thing, went in through the abdomen. But when I'd finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere. What? Did he... Surely not. Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really. That's one way of putting it, the other is manslaughter. That's exactly my concern, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be, well, as sure as you can be without being sure. I'm sure you need to be more sure. Okay. Hold it! Sorry, radio transmission, what do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. Ah, but now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? It makes my head just hurt thinking about it. You are well informed, young lady. Hee hee. But cables will soon become a thing of the past, stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to four corners of globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. Please stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on, I dare you. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think it just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh? Absolutely, I mean, really, a machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you just not use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry, stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you'd never noticed before. What? Have you got any, Bruno? Any prints we could look at with a stereoscope? I am not sure. Never ever sure is the answer. I'm gonna say maybe. How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think.
Take that!
Take that! Alright, then juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
Take that!
Wait, sorry? What do you mean, one more print? Oh dear, don't you have these in the Far East? Don't you know how a stereoscope works? I've been explained to it over and over again, yes. Bruno, what? You need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember? You know, one for the left eye and one for the right. Well, why don't we have the other one is the question. Oh yes, I remember now. But the print we have from the pawnbroker is just a normal photograph. No, I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's a stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints. Thanks for the friendly explanation. Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we can always show it to this young man then. Ha 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 ha! I think you'll find that know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me. Let's get things back on track, shall we, Council? Press.
Hold it!
Like, this is like pulling teeth, man. Can it really be show up new clues though? Don't know unless you try. I don't get it. Why don't we have the other photo? It's just dumb.
Take that! Hold it!
So let's go through this one all the way. Okay, don't spare any feelings, will you? It's not like there's anyone here who likes stereoscopes. So why exactly do you think that the defendant is guilty? It's quite simple. We haven't been shown a scrap of evidence to suggest that she isn't the culprit. And just as radio waves dash through the skies faster than the eye can see, so we should dash to the conclusion of this trial and stop pandering to indecision? Right. So that doesn't change anything. Your Honor, is it an option to just give up and just take the guilty verdict and call it a day? Like, she didn't probably do it, but I am at a loss of what to do. Like, it's fitting that the final case is the hardest one, don't get me wrong, but I am... Like, I need the other one. How do I get it? I have no idea. I mean, I have a walkthrough. I'll look at it if I gotta, but I don't think I've had to look at it before. I've had it as a safety thing, but I don't think. Huh? I'm not sure, but I don't think I've had to rely on it. Maybe. I have no idea. I also find it odd that the magnifying glass is pointless in the evidence-looking phases. And I mean, I did try to use an actual photographic print. The other side of the tickets are the print, so, you know. That's a bit of an oddity, I think, that it just wouldn't count and work, but... I don't know what to do. Confusion is very real right now. No, that's the same thing. I felt that maybe the statement had changed a little bit, so it would be a little different, but nope, it's all the same. Press the first one again? I don't know. Nope, same thing. I'm at a loss here. I mean, maybe these two. I don't know. I probably have focused too much on the stereo photo print. Like, I think this is the one to go with.
Objection!
There. Yeah. Okay. Objection. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good lord. Counsel, explain yourself. Oh my statement contradictory? Contradict. Contra. Yes, it's the game with the guns and the people and the boom boom. Contra. Yes. Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick, I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the skulking brothers fled the scene of the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. Abdomen, abdomen, abd. Sir? Sorry, my English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear. Forgive me, I did not hear. Ugh. Ah, here is word. Abdomen. Part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say it in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker. Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? So, you're telling me that these brothers who look like criminals were lying. They said before, we never done nothing, but truth is they shot detective. Yeah? This is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by a person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means, when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough. I trust no one now. It's not the mouse's fault though, sir. I must see with own eyes. I must investigate the crime scene myself. I'm afraid that won't be possible. Yes, it is, Runo, easily. Sorry? With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. Again, why didn't we get the entire stack? I was hoping that we could go through the stack, which was presented as evidence anyway, I felt. That it was like, oh, nope, you don't get to look at nothing. I'm like, okay, great, good. If you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor. Tut tut. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print is showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop. It's this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the skulking brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later after the brothers' flight. Okay, so picture memory game. So this was taken after Hurley was shot then. Okay, give me a second. I wanna get a good look at this. Nothing immediately sprung to mind, but hold on. So all of these seemed okay. I feel like I saw the doll, the dog picture, the two notes there, the skull. Probably. Yeah, it all looks like it's there. Oh, sorry, I think. I'm just wondering why is no one showing us the prints from the other camera system? Hmm. Nothing springs to mind. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So, the brothers who looked like criminals told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right, I did not understood situation. Now I know brothers have lied, I think it is very important to continue with trial. Right. Yay, well done, Bruno, the balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we just might turn the situation to our favor still. Thank you, Counsel. Continue with the Summation Examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Right. Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. Yes, we can, but it's still the... Like, I'm so confused why we can't get the prints from the other camera. What's the problem? Like, it feels like there's the obvious solution to that, and we need to do the rigmarole with, like, this, like, 2 pictures from the same camera. Why?
Hold it!
Oh, cool. Let's do this. At least we have the 2 of the same ones, so that's 1.
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Of course I can, yes. Very well then, demonstrate. Glad to. Give me 1 more and I'll maze you all.
Take that!
Take that! Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera in Windy Banks on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and the right eye images need to be the same, not only with a slight shift in the positions of some objects. Then, when your brain merges the 2 images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth. Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures is really important. Meaning we need the other camera. So what happens if you use 2 photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene 3-dimensionally anyway. Oh. Oh! Of course, now I see. Ah, I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have. Ugh. That looks so very deeply disturbing. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at these 2 pictures from Hurley's camera. No, go on. Can you see that there's a really obvious difference between them? Well, it's missing 2 people. But they are the same camera still, so is there any other obvious difference than just... Oh, right. The lamp. Okay, cool. Got it. Of course there's 2 people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you can see that straight away. But now... try looking at the picture in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. So to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the 2 pictures overlap exactly. It's an interesting thing that they're trying to make you do this, but I can't make this work. I just realized the lamp is the difference, but I just make it like if I cross my eyes, it just makes like it into 3 pictures or more. That's just not how it is. That just does not work for me, like at all. So I don't know what they want from me. It just doesn't work. Like, I think it... I don't know. I know it's a 3DS game, but I still don't think that, like... I don't know. I don't know. Like, I have a 3DS, but I haven't seen a mechanic like this being used in that either. Like, and it's not how a 3DS mechanic works at all. So I'm kind of wondering, like, what's the deal with this, but... Wait. Well, did you manage to see it properly, Runo? I know, I saw the difference, but I can't do that. Like, my crossing eyes doesn't work like that, sorry. My eyes are probably spider eyes, that's how it, because that's why it doesn't work. What's going on with these 2 pictures? Some of the things on the counter sort of just jump out at you. Wait. Well, this helps. It shows that indeed the stuff on the counter does move ever so slightly, yeah. But more importantly, the lamp. Like, this bit is, like, just broken in this one. Why is that not mentioned? Okay. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Other amazing power? Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that, hmm? I do kind of love the stereoscope with Van Zieks, like he's like, huh? That's pretty good. I don't know why it makes me chuckle. Basic principles of the stereoscope? Yes. It's just like, you know, a weird thing. Yes, the basic principle is that. There we are. As I said before, if you try to look at 2 identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slightest shift in the positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures 3-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all in between 2 pictures, why isn't this addressed? Come on, the broken lamp, surely. Like, it is interesting though that is very true, that these have indeed moved a little bit, yeah. That's pretty good, but Again, my eyes do not work like that. Like, it just does not do that, like, at all. No. This shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must have been. Why do we not get the second camera? Now hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does a shift between two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed mass. I'm not. I can't get that stuff to work. I'm sorry. What, me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Runo, it's quite simple. It is? Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 AM. Then 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some items on the counter appeared to have shifted slightly on the interim. There's also a half of the lamp missing. Why is no one... Ugh. So that means that sometime in the half-hour inter... It's very weird how they... How can I put this? They go through all this trouble to point out the less obvious difference, and they don't talk about the most obvious difference, apart from the people being and not being there. But like the lamp, why are you like this? Someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zookers! Someone tampered? New information, stop. Not mentioned in testimony so far, stop. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should have been aiming at in the Summation Examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. Susato! Sorry, we gotta throw you to the wolves. I think we're gonna have to go on a boat and catch up to you on the way to Japan. Okay, so... Are we suspecting surely one of these? I don't know. I feel like I'm either outsmarting myself or I'm being really dumb and not guessing something obvious that's not the burglars, but...
Take that!
It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Sulkin brothers. Alright. Good. Wait. This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said that they did not even have the time to pull dukes from Lucy lockets. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands and Lucy lockets is meaning pockets. But is this another lie? Is this what you are saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Now hold on there a minute, you can't be sure of that. I quite agree, the accused is a common pick purse after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why exactly? As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. You might not wanna... like... point attention to that notion, plus not technically speaking not pointing a gun at the victim either. Just technically speaking that was also not true anyway. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windybank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Mr. Strahd's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pig purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulking brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact, worse than pig purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she is a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair. Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings, you've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. I still wonder, like, 3 and 3, so wouldn't that also mean that we can just continue? Wholeheartedly agree, stop. Must purchase after trial, stop, will return home via Regent Street, stop. Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. I feel like that's way too early to lean to anything, but there we are. Accordingly, the jury swelled consensus, and I order this trial to continue. Yay, well done. Oh, by the way. What? You should hold on to this, Bruno. You never know when it might come in useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely, but alright. Again, there's the second entire camera ever so slightly to the side, so it might even help. The stereoscope, I mean, it might be too far to the right, but who the hell knows at this point how this game wants to do this. A fold-up device that allows anybody to enjoy seeing things in 3 dimensions simply by looking through the eyepieces. Lord Van Zeeks. You will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. And Chalice goes. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. To be continued. Whew. We absolutely should save, but it is a time for an intermission by the very least, so if you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have, please do drop a like. It would mean the world to me. And if you want to see more of this stuff, or more of me playing anything, or more of anything by me, really, please do subscribe. It would really make my day, and would actually truly help, I promise. Then, I hope you had fun watching. And I hope to see you again in the next cases, next episode, next part of this case as well. So, and join me here live on Twitch if you want to. It's a good time, maybe, I hope. Yes, so let's go do that. But yeah, have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.